Welcome, everyone, to BrainScratch Commentaries commentary
It's contagious.
of Devil May Cry, DmC, the reboot. The Edge.
Be careful now, that edge is sharp. You'll cut yourself.
Shall we take this time to say farewell to the BrainScratch Archives channel? This is the last game that we uploaded to the thing before we decided to go the other route.
And Jesus Christ, it's been a long time since I've recorded. Look at the date on that frickin'... I recorded... the last time I recorded this in March.
March of
last year.
That was before PAX.
Ah, Jesus.
So yeah, that'll give you an idea of how long our backlog is.
Sometimes, anyway.
Yeah, anyway.
Yeah.
Because sometimes we switch over one thing to another. We was like, nah, I don't want to do that game now. Let's do this game now.
I am actually
Wait,
going to be showing
there's
off
a
some
dark
of the...
Donte gets edgier than this.
Yeah.
Yes,
there is.
Is there a Donte with red little stripes on the top tips of his hair?
No, unfortunately. Well, I'll be switching costumes between missions, so we're going to see all of them at some point. But the ones I'm going to be using most are the default and the classic Donte, which is really terrible looking, by the way. But you'll see in a bit. It looks like Donte cosplaying as Donte.
Yes, that is what we will be referring to him as.
Well, you guys could do that. I have no sort of feeling or connection towards this game. I know the controversy, of course, but seeing as I never really grew up with Devil May Cry, I played maybe the first and third game a few times on the PlayStation 2, didn't really get into the series, and I am completely oblivious as to why this game caused such a shitstorm.
Because it's a Devil May Cry game and it's trying to take itself seriously. That's why. That is the entire problem with this game. It's trying to be deep and it's trying to be art. And it really falls on its face in that respect. By the way, this is Mundus. Remember that big-ass winged statue that we fought in the first game? Which I also recorded, by the way. This is him. He's the fucking kingpin.
He's a businessman, don't you know?
Oh, and this is his mistress, I guess.
Don't all businessmen have women randomly lying around in their bikinis in their offices?
Well, she's also a boss, and she is actually at the center of a really big controversy, a controversial part later in the game, but we'll get to that when we get to that part.
Oh, is it the fuck you part?
No, that's the succubus, and that's actually a different
Okay.
demon altogether. But yes, this is what Mundus is in this game, and this sets the tone for the entire story. It's like all social commentary everywhere. So much social commentary, you'll get a headache from it. You know, if I wanted social commentary on this level, all I have to do is look at my Facebook newsfeed. Because it's about the same level of intelligence and internet philosophy going on here. And when I say internet philosophy, I'm talking very literally. Okay, one of the demons is basically Bill O'Reilly.
I think I remember seeing something like that, yeah.
Yeah, I think it was Hayden, out of the people I know, who first drew that connection. He called it a giant evil Bill O'Reilly face in his video on Donte.
So how did Mundus, or Mundus, can go
It's
either way.
Mundus in this game. They always say Mundus in this game.
Alright, so they got rid of the accent mark, I guess. But in the original, how did he want to take over the world? And in this game, he wants to take over the world via debt.
Well, in the original, they didn't even get as far as how he wanted to take over the world. He just wanted to escape the underworld. Yes, he wanted to break the seal and let the demons out into the real world. Oh, by the way, this is our first impression of Donte in a strip club. Yes, we get to see really dramatic close-ups of his evil smirk and hungry eyes, I guess. It's not particularly compelling.
I'm suddenly reminded of Batman Beyond for some reason.
Epic first-person drinking.
These guys all have a serious bleeding problem.
The implication from all these kind of trippy quick cuts to people with their eyes bleeding and whatever is that this nightclub is run by demons, and he just sort of accidentally blundered in. So the reason this game starts is because he blundered into a nightclub run by demons, and the demons realized who he was.
Ah, that gives me Blade flashbacks, actually.
I'd rather be watching Blade.
Also, this track right here that's playing in this opening is like the only track in this game that I can remember. The rest just sort of bleeds together into a mash. Yes. It's like, you know, I actually kind of like this track. It sounds all right. The rest, I don't remember what the music in this game sounds like most of the time.
Well, according to the archive part, it's Throat Full of Glass, single edited by Combi Christ.
Well, it actually sounds like something that would belong in a Devil May Cry game.
Which means this part got claimed, and you're probably going to have to mute the music when it gets to uploading this.
Or do a double export.
Well, I'll probably mute the credits music just to be on the safe side, but, you know, you can look it up on YouTube if you really want to
you can look up everything on YouTube. What a weird loading screen.
That loading screen is a flashback cutscene, and we're going to see that flashback cutscene every time the frickin' game loads because of it. But, yeah. Okay, Donte is quote-unquote trailer trash. Disclaimer, I have nothing against people who live in trailers, although I would suggest you put your pizza in a refrigerator before you fall asleep.
That's all.
Hi, Virgil. Yeah, spoiler alert.
Wait, Virgil's anonymous?
You made the anonymous connection before. Okay, yeah.
Well, how the hell do you not? It's so obvious.
Yeah, I was gonna say something about that. Hayden said something about that. Everyone points to that. But yeah, it's anonymous. It's frickin' anonymous. You know, I said internet philosophy, and yeah, the entire game is a society from the perspective of the internet.
Okay, that is an awful society because, you know, I'm just gonna say it right now. The internet is not like, you know, Aristotle and Socrates had like their whole like forums in ancient Greece. Yeah, I don't think that we've got an Aristotle or Socrates on 4chan. Just saying.
Also, yeah, he just opened the door bare naked.
So wait a minute, you're telling me that that bar or strip club that he went to, I'm guessing the previous night before this cutscene, was full of demons and they didn't capitalize on trying to kill Donte?
Oh, they did.
Oh, we're gonna get a flashback, aren't we?
No, this is what's happening now. They sent this hunter after them because they found out where he was.
Ah, so they wouldn't.
But you see, he already knows how to fight off demons, so they can't just send little demons after him. No, they sent a hunter. This thing with a vagina on its head is the hunter. And we're going to spend the next 30 minutes running away from this guy.
Is the woman there, who's its face, from the first?
Cat.
Oh.
Cat is the,
No, it's not Trish.
Oh, okay.
No, Cat is like the only character in this game that's completely original. And to be fair, I kind of like her. She's a pretty okay character until the last 10 minutes of the game. But then the last 10 minutes of the game are where things start getting really forced. Okay, so, you know how that thing that Donte usually does, where he does cool things in slow motion in the very first scene of the game? This is that scene. He's getting dressed in epic slow motion.
You know, the joke, that joke was only funny in Austin Powers, where things are just randomly covering up his crotch.
And look entirely phallic as on their own. Yeah, the pizza crust.
Well, there's no phallic symbolism there. It was just the pizza covering up his taint.
Yeah,
I thought that was actually pretty funny.
Phallic than anything. It was okay. You know, that's the thing about a lot of the scenes in this game. When the game isn't trying to be pretentious, I think it's just okay. I get some chuckles here and there. It's not like Devil May Cry 2, where I literally can't stand anything in the game.
All right, so this is Limbo.
The game is Limbo. Yeah, it's stuck in this limbo between good and bad. But yes,
that's not what I meant. Damn it!
This is Limbo. This is like the place between the human world and the demon world. And whenever demons want to kill someone, they drag them into Limbo. So in order to get out of Limbo, Donte needs to kill the demon that dragged him in.
Oh, so this is our excuse as for why we have to beat up all the guys, then.
Yeah.
Every beat 'em up has them.
Oh no! In Streets of Rage, the screen just sort of stops, and then
okay,
there's
well, let me reiterate. Every hack and slash has them.
Yeah. The game doesn't do the curse walls as obviously as the previous games, and by that I mean I usually don't know exactly where the curse wall is until it breaks, because it just sort of blends into everything else. Also, yeah, his guns got caught in the girl's bra. Classy. They really want Donte to seem like a rebel in this game, but the Donte that they revealed in the early launch trailers was a completely different Donte from this one.
Yeah, the Edward Cullen one.
Yeah, well, you know what? I think that one would have been more interesting than this one. I'm totally with Hayden on that one.
But isn't that what caused the shitstorm in the first place?
Yes.
Yeah, it is. But you know what? I think they should have stuck to their guns on that one, because the concept looked pretty cool. And he was even wielding a weapon that you don't ever see in this game, some kind of weird shape-shifting spear. I hear the gameplay in the early cut of DmC was really bad though, and the Capcom actually had to send people over to fix it. I'm not sure how true that is. So
Here,
don't quote me.
tell us what's wrong with it. Where do I begin?
Well, I seem to have cuts on my hand from holding the controller, so.
Should get that checked out.
The gameplay as it stands is all right. It's basically Devil May Cry 4 except a little less refined.
Well, you see, no, that's sort of weird considering that this game came after Devil May Cry 4. All things considered.
I'm talking entirely the combat mechanics. The combat mechanics put a little too much emphasis on angel weapons and demon weapons, so you have to do a lot of specific things to color-coded enemies, and that's just really kind of lame. Kind of reminds me of that Golden Axe game they tried making a while back. The most satisfying thing in the game to me is the sword. They brought the gauntlets back, but they work completely different than they did in 1, 3, and 4. So they're not quite as fun to use anymore. You basically have these giant gorilla hands. You'll see later in the game. It's really hilarious to look at. Hi, Phantom Babies. You remember these guys, right?
I know in terms of how the game is technically structured, every Devil May Cry game before this one ran at 60 frames per second, right?
Yeah.
And this game, I think, for the cinematic quality, went 30 on purpose, because I think they could have gone 60 if they wanted to, but I'll say, I've seen this game in action a few times, thanks to Elliot especially, because Elliot, I don't know about the story, but he actually thought the game was pretty good.
Yeah.
And I've seen him in action a few times, and I think this game is one of those games that actually would probably look the best at 30 frames per second because of I mean, look at the artistic design of this. It's all over the place. And I think that was the point, because Limbo is, I guess, I don't know, the in-between between the human realm and hell, or is it just hell itself?
Limbo, I'm not really sure what Limbo is. They don't actually explain the metaphysics of the world like they do in Bayonetta. Limbo is just sort of there.
Oh, I have a question. Wasn't he talking to that woman when he was in the trailer, and now he just suddenly doesn't know who she is?
He's
wondering that's a
how
trailer.
She's in Limbo. He's wondering how she's in Limbo, and he had no idea who she was in the beginning. She found out that the demons found out where he was and went to warn him, but she was a little too late.
I'd ride it.
Also, there's a trophy that I'm not quite gonna get here for knocking all the demons in this room into this ride to kill them. It's only hurricane ride kills. Yeah, if you get 10 of those, you get the trophy. I'm not gonna manage that, but it's kind of fun to do.
Yeah, the tilt's a hurl.
They don't really have unique environment kill areas like this later in the game. This is the only time they do something interesting like this.
Oh, well you want to know why? It's because they can show an early level for the E3 demo and be like, oh my god, look at this environmental kill. It's so cool. That's why it's there.
Yeah, they got to pull you in the beginning and leave you hanging the rest of the time. That's an assumption, though. I'm not saying that's what the game does.
Well, yeah, they do. This, I will give it credit. This first mission is a very, very compelling first mission, especially compared to 4. 4's first mission was kind of bare. I'm going back now because I left something behind, and this is something that I'm not going to play this game to 100% completion like I did Devil May Cry 1. God, no, that would take too long. there are secret missions in the game, but instead of finding them throughout the missions, basically there are these big obvious doors with locks on them, so they're not really secret. They're just hard to get into. You need to find keys. And there are like 4 different key colors, or 3 different key colors. I forget whether it's 3 or 4. You need to find the correct color key, and you can use that color key to open a door that matches it. And the missions inside the secret mission doors are kind of sort of like the secret missions in Bayonetta more than the ones in the Devil May Cry series. It's less about doing weird things and more about just fulfilling an objective within a time limit or whatever.
Oh, can we go on the merry-go-round?
I wish.
Oh.
Okay.
No, you don't.
I shouldn't have missed that arcade cabinet 3 times with my sword. I don't know what I was doing there. And if you're wondering why I'm taking the time to collect as many red orbs as I can, it's because red orbs are incredibly scarce in this game. I mean, you get them, but you don't get very many for everything that you do.
So the red orbs are a Devil May Cry reference, and
a Devil May Cry reference.
No. Let me finish the sentence. In Bayonetta 2, when you go to Inferno, when you kill demons, you collect red orbs.
Oh, do you?
Yeah.
I didn't get that far in that game. Huh.
Yeah. So
That's interesting.
That's a DmC reference. Okay.
Yeah, the red orbs are demon blood.
Ah.
They're crystallized demon blood. So, and Bayonetta tries to sort of passively suggest that it's in the same universe as Devil May Cry. Like, I hear there's this thing where Antonio Redgrave, the reporter, was actually the person that Donte took his old mercenary name from. But, there's nothing solid. It's all just, fanon.
Hearsay. You didn't hear that from me, though.
And Hideki Kamiya, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's his headcanon, I guess.
Well, obviously your coat wanted to ride the Ferris wheel, Donte. God.
Well, there was a scene during that whole credit sequence where he was on the Ferris wheel with the girls. That's how his coat got up there. I don't like this coat, by the way. It looks really ragged.
Well, that might be the point.
Yeah, that's just the thing that I liked about Dante's coats in the Canon series is that they all looked really cool and smooth and expensive.
Very expensive, yes.
Which made you question why he was wearing them while fighting demons, but...
Alright, so when this game began in development, was it planned as a prequel or a reboot?
Reboot.
A reboot completely. Are they still going by that?
No, it doesn't count anymore.
Yeah, Capcom basically saw everyone hated the reboot, so when they go back to Devil May Cry, if and when they go back to Devil May Cry, it's going to be the regular Donte series.
So they might as well have just wrapped a whole bunch of athletic tape around his arms, is what you're saying?
Well, yeah. The black hair, you have to suffice. Will the black hair do enough for you?
Well, the hair is actually a point in this game, because at the end of the game, his hair turns white. Now, there's a scene coming up where it seems like Ninja Theory is kind of, making fun of the white hair thing, and I think people took that the wrong way because they didn't have the context of the ending to give them the actual punchline of the joke, but the punchline is he winds up with white hair in the end. It's not very funny, but there it is.
That kind of makes me think they, at the last minute, decided to try and go make it a prequel.
They basically, when they got the idea that fans wouldn't like the game if it was too far away from the source material, they tried to bring it closer to the source material. But it's not a prequel because the entire setup for Mundus and Donte and Virgil leads to a completely different outcome than what we have in the main series. So they're trying to make it more Devil May Cry-ish, but at the same time they're still trying to do their own thing.
Well, from what I've seen so far, looking at this game, again, I'm a complete noob to this sort of shit. It looks like a Devil May Cry game from gameplay alone.
Gameplay alone, yeah, it's kind of... I class it as somewhat more fun than the first game. A lot more fun than the second game.
Well, not like it's hard to get better than the second game.
Not quite as fun as 3 and 4. Also, this is a secret mission where you can only damage the enemy while in the air. So, yeah, just repeat this one combo over and over and you'll be good.
Are you gonna be doing all these mini challenges?
No, in fact, I'm not going to be doing very many of them at all, because I find them personally kind of boring. Because, like, look at this. This is just a wide-open room with 5 monsters in it.
Well, there's
Okay,
green
sure.
in the room, which is a nice color change from all the red.
But yeah, much like Bayonetta, there's a lot of places where this game's gameplay sort of intersects with stuff Bayonetta did first. But, much like Bayonetta, when you do the secret missions, you get either a health piece or a magic piece out of the mission. So it's not just buying the purple orbs from the shop anymore, you actually have to collect them to increase your devil trigger meter. But don't bother, because the devil trigger sucks in this game, more at 11.
Oh, it's 10:59.
No. Let's just focus on what's going on screen. Vagina Face is back. And Vagina Face is gone again.
Tilt.
Get on the roller coaster.
You
come on,
knocked him
Donte.
back.
I don't know why they felt compelled to go the Atlas route in design for this particular demon. But, I don't know. In this case, it just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. Because when we get to the boss, we find out that the boss can only be properly damaged after Cat throws a Molotov cocktail at the face vagina. And I'm trying to figure out whether it's supposed to be some kind of symbolism or what.
Yeah, don't set your privates on fire. It's not
Yeah,
very hard to think about.
That would help, yes. Don't set your privates on fire. You'll be much safer if you don't.
Ted, put it down.
Wait, what? Why do I have to put it down?
But you know, the entire setup of the hunter and the strippers that get Donte caught and all. I'm trying not to read some sort of veiled misogyny into it, but it's not working because I see it every time I play through this mission. And, you know, I'm trying to decide if that's me seeing things because the internet has been a pain in the ass lately, or if it's actually there.
What you're missing is that it's actually about games journalism.
Oh no! You know what? I hope that by the time this gets uploaded, that's an obsolete remark.
I wouldn't count on it, dude. And let's just leave it at that before.
Yeah, I'd rather we just leave it at that.
Okay.
I had to make the joke.
No, I'm not blaming you for the joke, but. You know.
I'm not blaming you either. Ouch. Yeah, the environment in this room is more of a threat than the enemies. The enemies just sort of shamble towards you. These are basically the marionettes of the game. The zombies, the
they're
scarecrows,
doing that
whatever.
goddamn thing they did in Crisis City Classic.
What thing?
The thing where it's just like, oh, gonna walk to the exit. Lol. Nope. Let's just move it away from you.
Yeah, Limbo does that a lot. It likes to dick with you. The environment shifts.
I like that.
Suddenly,
the environment's your enemy.
It's suddenly a pre-rendered cutscene, and here's the wig gag that got everyone so pissed. I don't know if that was supposed to be funny or what, but yeah.
I like to think that line was written when they had the reboot mentality, and they figured out people are gonna love this Donte. He's got black hair and shit like that. Okay. Oh, people are hating this? Shit!
You know, they could just go back and change the line. You know.
No, I think
you got to realize that a lot of the time in games development, the first level is one of the things that the people design last. Or later in development, I should say, because you need to be able to explain all the game mechanics, or hopefully you should be explaining the game mechanics early on in the game as opposed to later. And you know, the beginning of a game is generally one of the most important parts. So.
Yeah, it's like in Sonic 1, Green Hill Zone took like forever for them to finalize, specifically because they wanted to make it a really great level. And you know, something else, as far as changing lines later in development, this is kind of a tangent, but Infamous 2 did this thing where, you know, Infamous 2 also had a completely different design for the protagonist at first, and they backpedaled on it, but there's this one scene about 2 hours into the game where the voice acting is clearly designed for the original, younger, less gravelly character, and they didn't change it when they changed the character back, because that was one of the earliest scenes shown. Anyway, this is actually the best boss in the game. Just so you know.
Really? It caps here?
Yes, it caps here. All the other bosses, in the game have actually the Devil May Cry 2 design mentality.
Just
where
shoot
there's
to
this,
win.
No, where there's a stationary boss performing a set pattern of actions, and it doesn't try to pursue you or anything. It's just sitting in the middle of the room and you whack it a lot. And this boss actually plays like something out of Devil May Cry 4. And it's only hard because you don't have many options at this point. Like, even with the options I have, I'm destroying this thing. I actually have a few more moves than I should because one of the costume DLCs gives you like 2 free upgrades when you buy it. So I was able to get Drive and Stinger before this boss.
Is there a new Game Plus mode, I'm guessing?
Devil May Cry games always have that, actually. Once you've completed a mission, you can always go back through the mission select screen and replay it.
With your pimped out gear and shit.
Yeah, that's been a staple since Devil May Cry 2. Actually, I give Devil May Cry 2 a lot of shit, but it started 2 specific things that I love in the later games, and that is Bloody Palace mode and the mission select screen. Both of those were awesome additions. It's too bad the gameplay sucked in 2. Okay, and that's that boss done.
Well, that was quick.
Yeah, best boss in the game, ladies and gentlemen.
Pray for us.
Game over.
But it's only been
I
one
don't
level.
I have an
don't
extra
like-
quarter.
Can I just say, I really hate Dante's voice. He sounds so apathetic about everything, and I guess that was the point, but it just makes me want to punch him in the face.
But if you're calling me a son of a bitch, you wouldn't be the first.
Okay, that's
It's
a
like,
really
you know-
lame joke. Just gonna say.
Yeah, it is. I'll talk more about my feelings on Dante later because we'll get a clearer picture of who he is in the upcoming parts.
I barely remember her.
All I know is that she was a female. I think.
Those conspicuously shaped angel wings in my hazy flashback slideshow are
Must be-
particularly suspicious.
I think someone spiked my pizza.
Why are you eating alcoholic pizza in the first place?
I think someone spiked my pizza. You know, spike doesn't necessarily mean alcohol.
Well, what would they spike it with? Like anchovies? Oh no.
Arsenic?
Maybe those little prickly plants that always get stuck on your socks when you go
Oh,
outside.
the bastards. It's not even paper, that's a nuisance.
Are you okay, Donte?
Who the hell are you?
My boss knows you. He wants to meet.
She's working for Virgil.
Oh, okay.
I helped you.
Yeah, she's working with Anonymous, as we're gonna find out in about 20 seconds.
For your help.
I didn't ask for your help. Okay.
Why
yeah,
can't people
thanks.
ever say thank you? What is wrong with you people? Just be
Okay,
polite.
hey. This is like the first shades of why I don't like this version of Dante. Dante, as he originally was supposed to be a hilarious, like, over-exaggeration of what a cool guy was supposed to be.
Something to do with that masked freak on the net.
This Dante is that, played straight.
Can't wait.
It doesn't work for me. It really doesn't. It's like, there are people who already think the original Dante was an asshole, and yeah, he kind of was. That was partly the point, especially in 3, where he was not just Dante, but an immature Dante. This Dante is an asshole, but we're supposed to like him.
Well, I agree with you. I won't harp on this too long because, you know, it's a whole other can of worms, but I get the whole, what you're saying about the original Dante, and it does work when it is strictly nothing but high-flying action, high adrenaline, stuff like that. It's when they tried to make him do the drama card, like all the Trish scenes at the very end of DmC, the first game.
Dark Soul
Where-
is
The first
right.
game, yeah.
Yeah, it's like when they try to make the over-the-top badass hero try to have feelings that I am completely detached because it just clashes. I'll just say, through this playthrough, I'm curious to see how this Dante acts. Don't jump the gun and say it's going to suck. I want to make that assessment for myself.
Yeah, I'm not gonna say it's gonna suck. They tried something good, and I see what they were going for. I feel it wasn't entirely successful.
Okay.
We'll see in future parts, though. For now, that has been part 1. It's over now. You're staring at the, I hope there's an illustration here. I don't know.
We shall make one ourselves.
No, what? With just crayons?
That's actually just a game of tic-tac-toe, and it's not finished.
All right. See you later, everybody.